Hi, this is Bonnie, and I am using the brand new PollenWing um, paper from Fairy Hugs. And today I'm going to be using this paper right here, and I'm also going to be using some new Fairy Hugs stamps. So here's the paper that I'm going to be using, and the stamps I'm going to be using are, we have Bumble Fairies, and it's always a little bit hard for you to see those in here, so let me quickly take those out so you can see the sheet that the stamps are on. I don't know if I can do it this way. Maybe I can. Yeah, you can see it that way. You can see that they all have really cute little skirts, bumblebee skirts, and they're super cute. And let's see here. I'm also going to be using, this one's in here backwards, but I'm going to be using the rainbow arch, and it looks like that. I've already used this in another one. And I'm also going to be using, which I've already used in another card, look for, and this is when it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. And I'm also going to be using Rainey. And she's a really pretty fairy that can sit on things. And she comes with two flowers, one going in one direction, one going the other, exactly the same, which makes it really perfect for when you wanted to do wreath building or anything like that. And then from the past, I am going to be using Fairy Hugs Raindrops, which goes really good with the rain theme and the rainbow theme. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stamp platform set up, and we'll get going. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get some of these raindrops all around these bubbles on here, but I also want to give it a little bit of glitter. So I am going to be using some embossing powder, and the embossing powder I'm going to be using is called Bridal, and it is from Ranger. It's clear, so it just really basically shows the sparkles. So again, I'm going to try something I haven't used in a while. Hopefully it will work. And that's, I'm going to be using some white pigment ink from Ranger. So let's see if we can get that. I always wish that they had a white ink with VersaFine Clear. And I know that I could also use a clear, because I'm totally not seeing that at all. So I'm not really happy with that. I didn't test it. So we are going to go then with the, I'm going to use the Morning Mist. I know it's going to be a gray color, but at least we're going to be able to see it. And I think what I am going to do is stamp it on my paper first, so it's a second generation. And I'm going to stamp several of these. I don't want to wait too long because I want to put that embossing powder on. So I'm just going to stamp several of these, and second generation stamping. And you can put these wherever you want to. I think I'm just going to do 3, but I'm trying to show you like what I'm doing, and then I'm going to, because I don't want to wait too long, because I don't want to lose my ink. So I'm just going to do 3 at a time, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like after I've got them all stamped. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, second generation, and then I'm going to put the embossing powder on. Okay, so I have all of the raindrops stamped, and I've got the embossing powder on them. That's a glitter. So now I'm getting started to put the regular stamps on, or I should say the focus stamps on. And the rainbow, if you look at this particular paper, it has 2 mountains coming across. And so I just am trying to make that look just like it's just coming in between those 2 mountains. And so I'm lining that up a little bit. Okay. It's still, today as I'm filming, it is still overcast. It's not raining, but it is very overcast, so it's hard to see, and if I put too much lights on, it glares really badly. So I'm trying to do the best I can in my situation. And I am using Morning Mist for the rainbow because I'm going to be putting Rainey on top of the fairy, on top of it. And I know that this is almost like masking. So we're going to go that route and see what happens. Okay, it's exactly what I want, but I can also see that my washi tape is losing its stickiness. I'm getting down to the last bit of this. Okay. I'm almost out of that one. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more on because they're starting to lose their stickiness. There we go. Okay, so Rainey's going to be coming next. And I'm going to be setting her so that she is setting right like that on that rainbow. And it's basically her hand I would like to have touching that rainbow there. I think that looks pretty good. And for this one, I'm going to be using the Nocturne. First, a fine clear Nocturne. Okay. She's really got a lot of pretty detail in her too. And you can remember that she will be able to sit on a lot of Fairy Hug stamps. This just happens to be the one for this collection that works really well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stamp her one more time. I don't know why there's something on my stamp. There we go. Get that off. Sometimes there's just this residue, and that's what happened right there to her face, I'm afraid. I'm not really sure what that is. Just gotta remove that for now. I'm probably going to have to color that in because I had something on my stamp. And once you have something on your stamp, you can't really fix that. So I'll color that in with a marker. Okay, so let us use the flowers that are I'm going to have them go around, but I think I'm going to start up here at the top. And I'm using Nocturne. And all I'm going to do is have the flowers just go around the edge of the rainbow. And because there are two of these flowers, it works really good. This will also work really good for rotating designs. But this one I can just follow the rainbow's curve. And that's working great. All right. So now I'm going to go on the other side. I'm just going to put 2 on this side because she's leaning this way. All right, so we've got that part done. So the next part, I decided to put the, I'm going to put the sentiment about right there. And that looks lined up good. And again, I'm going to be using Nocturne. And remember, again, this is a thin, skinny stamp. And whenever you have that, don't push really hard. Be very gentle when you push, because it will blur. It doesn't matter what stamp you have. If it's thin, it can blur. I can add a little bit more ink. All right, that looks great. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these really cute Bumble Fairies. And the Bumble Fairies, I have a couple different things I'm doing with them. I'm trying to pull up I had an example that I made. I want to make sure I have them the way I set them up. It doesn't really matter, but I'm putting them inside of these bubbles. And then there's one that's walking that she's going to be going on top of the sentiment. And again, it's a little sticky. So again, I'm going to use my oils in my hands so it doesn't keep doing that too terribly bad. Okay, and because I end up using all of them inside these bubbles, it worked really well. Make sure I have them set. It just worked out really well because of how many of the Bumble Fairies there are. I always say that, yeah, it's Bumble Fairies. I want to make sure I didn't say it backwards. They worked perfectly on this paper with the sentiment. I used them all. So I'm going to stamp those all at the same time. But I think I'm going to add a little bit of washi tape to the top, just to keep that down. Okay. I'm going to grab my Nocturne. And again, these are small stamps. You do not want to push really hard on them because they will blur. And I think that's going to work. So this paper works really good for that, but you can really do it, with any paper. As you know, you've probably used Fairy Hugs dwellers and all that, and they do really great. So you can see that worked out really, really well. I want you to see them. They're really, really pretty. I just really love those and how they worked. So, all right. So we've got, I believe, everything stamped. It's just a matter of adding some color. So I am going to add some glitter to the wings. So I'm going to go ahead and get that together. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go ahead and give this some color like I did before in my previous video. And I am going to be using coloring in between the lines there. And this is Process Red. And I am using Prismacolor pencils. And let's put that there. And it's very simple to get these colored in. It's just in between. You can also color, like I said, or you could even heat emboss the rainbow if you wanted to. I just chose to do this as a little bit quicker today. Just coloring those in. And I'm doing the trying to do the rainbow colors in order, like I did before. All right, that one was, sorry about that. That one is a Carmen? I always say that wrong. Orange. And then we've got the yellow ochre. Which really matches the background really, really well. And then we've got spring green. And non-photo blue. And I'm also going to use a non-photo blue again for the fairy wings, the Bumble fairies up above, because they're in the sky. Probably use it for her too. And then we've got lilac. So we've got our pastel rainbow down here. Okay, and I think you know what? I'm going to go ahead and color in the centers of these flowers, probably in the same direction. I think I have enough. I have 7. So I'm going to do the red one first, processed red, and then the orange, just to give us some color, and the yellow. I'm not going to have, I probably should have done that one a different color. I've got the green and the blue. I could have done the green even a different color. And here's our blue. That looks pretty. All right, so now the wings up here, they are not really big, so I am just going to totally color them in with a non-photo blue. And that actually gives some sky color for us anyway. I think you can see that, yeah. Pretty simple coloring again. All right. So we just want to get the fairy wings. And I think that might even be able to color in the flowers in her hair. That would be super. So let's go with the darker, this is aquamarine to start, in her wings, because it's a little bit darker. I think because we didn't use the lilac in the flowers, I'll use those in her hair. All right, and then I'm going to do the non-photo blue, just to blend that out a little bit, and then I think I'm going to add another different color green. Kind of giving us a spring looking fairy, depending on how you color her. You know, you could color her in any way, make her any type of season really. So I'm also going to use, this is a light green. I'm just going to pull that light green, it kind of like highlights it a little bit. And it goes with our colors. You can see how easy it is to color on top of this paper. It works really well. All right, so I am going to use the lilac for in her hair and the flowers. There we go. And so the next thing I usually do, I can see one on the spot I want to get. is I always like to add the glitter to the wings, and then I'm going to use the gold gel pen like I usually do. But you can see this makes a rather quick card. It's kind of nice. And you still have some color. You can add so much more. I have a lot on this, so I'm going to go down here. You can add a lot more to this card than what I've added. Like you can add foliage, you can add trees, but I'm just sticking today so you can see how well the paper works and the new release. But Fairy Hugs has so much you can add and make it even more full if you want to. And it's really more fun to take your time and just enjoy stamping and making. All right, get this one down here, and then we'll go up and get the Bumble Fairies. All right, let's get their wings. And also, we've already got the glitter, like I said, the embossing glitter on the raindrops. And I really like the sentiment. I just think these are so cute. Now, I'm debating whether or not to use that gold gel pen on their skirts because, to be honest with you, they're tiny. And the gold gel pen end is rather large. So I'm not so sure that I want to add that glitter to them or not. We'll have to see. All right, so I definitely know I'm using the gold glitter gel pen, or let me show you again. It is a Pentel Sparkle gel pen. So inside of her dress, at the top, I'm going to go ahead and do some tiny dots. I'm going to do some tiny dots around her waist and then at the end of her skirt, because you can see there are dots there already. And then I'm going to go ahead on the rainbow, the part that I stamped on the gray part, I'm going to add some gold dots. That will give us a little bit of sparkle. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my light just a little bit because I know that that shows up the sparkle a little bit better when I'm taping. So just little dots. And then I'm going to go ahead and dot in the center of each of those flowers too. Okay. I think I got all those, yep. Great. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to just slightly test out the skirts on here to see, because I do really like the gold glitter on them. Okay, if you do it really lightly, you can add some, and you're not taking away, I don't think, the design. So really just hardly touch it, and you still get a little bit of glitter. And I'll put that up closer so you can see. Just 1 second. That one I hit a little bit harder. Just really, really lightly, hardly touch them. And that just gives you a little bit of your sparkle. I'll get one more. Sorry, I don't want to put my hand in it, so I'm going upside down. Okay, let's have a close-up so you can see. So you can kind of see how they sparkle a little bit, and we still have our lines showing. You can see that a little bit better, and you can see the raindrops too, and the sparkle. And then here's our, and I did fix whatever I had on that. I fixed her face by just using I used a Copic, or no, not a Copic, a Zig. This is an 08, and just colored that part in that I messed up. So, and you can see all the, yeah. So anyway, that's how easy it is to make that very quickly. I just wanted to say I will have the information below in the description, and I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much.